So let's start with the thumb, shall we? Oops. So, just do a little general loosening. So we have both of them together. If you have any dance training, feel free to point your toe when you're doing it. You should use your education all the time, as much as you can. So the arm, let's start with a little traction. So, think about how much we do this, right? Always. Okay. So not only this action, but also our arm spirals when we do this. So the fascia starts getting moved to a certain extent, so we start losing that ability to fully open up. So in this stretching of the arm, we do a continuous stretch by shifting our weight back, but also gradual, like palm up, spiraling out to open up the fascia. Because that constant spiraling in really builds up around the joints, and it shortens just a little bit. So it starts, after a while, starts to feel uncomfortable actually if you go back too far. A lovely way to start is very, very engaging. And then come up, palm of the hand, compress, mobilize, right? You do something like this on the table maybe. Do some sustained compression. So in the arm, there's 3 lines of energy, yin lines of energy that start in and around the chest. So just below the clavicle is where the lung meridian starts. Very close to the organ, I would say. And then it comes up over the shoulder and between the biceps and the triceps on the thumb side. It comes right on the soft forearm, right through the wrist crease and up into the eminence there, and then right out the corner of the nail. So in working lung meridian, the stretches that open up the chest, and also to be more specific to the meridian, the thumbing in getting a placement of meridians in the beginning, relate them to something that you already know. So the muscle, so how it starts in the pec and comes over the deltoid, and on the thumb side, it comes in between the biceps and the tricep, this groove. And then it comes on the forearm, and it's just on the inside of brachioradialis. So here's brachioradialis, so you could use that, right? Come right up against the brachioradialis and know that you're right in the lung meridian. And it comes right into the wrist crease and right into the palm here. And then right into the corner of the nail. So, lung imbalances. And also this position promotes openness, which allows facilitation of the organ motion. Right? I mean, the positioning of the meridians also facilitates openness. So if you're having any association with a meridian in a particular motion, just try putting yourself in a position that facilitates openness in that meridian, like the Makoho exercises. that you could use those for, So, you think about the lung and large intestine when you're like this, right? And what that does, opens that area up and facilitates this opportunity for the pathway to flow. It removes some of the resistance. That's what we're doing. The other meridian that starts in around the chest is on the side of the pec in between the ribs, and it follows the contour here of the pec major, and this is the pericardium meridian, the protective sac around the heart, which is also really close to the organ that it represents, the pericardium. And the pericardium comes right through the bicep heads, so right in between the deviation between the bicep heads. So right in the center, just like the heart right in the center. So, and it comes right through the forearm, also accessible at the wrist crease, right through the middle of the palm and right out the middle finger. So pericardium. Somehow translatable to a particular emotion, right? So there's all these cross cultural things that blend in to the medicine. And this, the remainder of the yin meridian in the arm is the heart meridian. And the heart meridian starts right in the center of the armpit. Right? Like they say, a lotus in the mud, from the mud, right? So that springs up from that. And it comes right between the bicep and the tricep on the little finger side. So this is the heart meridian. So, you know, positions here, here. Open up the body so that the chi can start to work its way in a clear sense. It comes right up onto, in between the fourth and fifth metacarpals and right out the little finger. So, in this exchange, this is what I like you to focus on. We're going to do some simple movements to open up the arm in this yin position, right? So it'll be stretching and some compression. And then I'm going to ask you to trace the meridian, thumb the meridian, the whole length of the meridian. Okay? So this is long. It's in your book too if you want to use that when you're working.
Are you going to guide us?
Yeah. Pericardium starts here, comes right through the center. Shaking hands with someone. There's an acupressure point right in the center of your palm. Pericardium 8. How often you get good sense right away, you know? Shake someone's hand. Something, don't know what, but you get some feeling either from the pressure or how they shake your hand or the moisture of it, but also because of pericardiums, there's like, boom, what are you all about, you know? So, a lovely pericardium, and then the heart, el corazón, starting in the armpit, coming up, in between the bicep and the tricep on the little finger side, up. Now, and this is another thing that I want you to include, please. So these meridians, the superficial manifestation of the deeper pathway that goes to the organ that it represents and the emotion that it houses. On these pathways, just below the surface of the body, there are certain acupressure points. And they all have particular functions. Some emotional, some local. So acupressure point in certain areas can not only help relieve the physical pain in that area that it passes through, but also it can help support anything along the entire pathway. So there's a series of acupressure points called source points or balancing points that I use in every session actually. And what they do is they help balance the energy in all the meridian that's on. So each meridian has a source point or a balance point. And that meridian brings balance to the meridian that it's currently, that it always has been attached to. So for these three meridians, there's 3 source points right at the wrist crease. So we're going to find those first on ourselves right now, and then on the person that we're working on. So when we work today, we're going to do stretching, compression, thumbing, and then be specific to these 3 acupressure points. So you get a sense of putting together movement, tracing meridian, and doing acupressure points. Okay. So this first one is for the lung meridian. And the lung meridian comes and runs right through the thumb. The source point is directly below the thumb at the end of the wrist crease. There's a little indentation there, so try to find that. So thumb, come right below the thumb, and at the end of the wrist crease, you'll feel a little indentation. So feeling the indentation is one thing, and to feel the point, either maybe you can feel it just by pressing in a little bit, or else you can bring a little flexion back towards your thumb to feel it a little bit more. Feel? See how Brian dropped his book. So, you know, a lot of these source points in and around the wrist are also strike points. And they're jujitsu empty hand strike points. So someone here, long meridian, hey! Weapon drops. That's true. That was fun. Thanks for dropping that. You're welcome. Okay, so everyone feel that long one? Yes? Yeah. And the next one is for the pericardium that comes through the center here and out the middle. So the pericardium meridian is right in the middle of the wrist crease, in line with the middle finger. Okay, so, and again, you could feel it by pressing or else bring the wrist, you feel it a little bit? Towards you. Try it on yourself. Okay, so we'll hold for a couple full breaths. Okay, so one inhale and exhale, one breath. Inhale, exhale, two breaths. So just hold it like that. But here, do a little something while you're doing self-stimulation. So go back on the pericardium point and find it again, so that you feel like that dull ache when you're in the center. Now, gradually back off, use less and less pressure, but you can still feel it. See how much pressure you need where you still feel the point. Okay, and it's interesting to see how little pressure you actually need to stimulate the point. So, you know, the art of acupressure is determining and locating Tsubo, but how you choose to stimulate Tsubo and with what pressure and for how long. Okay, so the how long is right now fixed for you, you know, a couple of breaths, but how deep you hold it so they still feel it, but it's not excessive, because then you'll just smother the action of it. It doesn't need all the energy you're giving it. You know, it just needs this amount of attention from you, and then it can flow more readily. So there's that too. And the last point here is the heart point, Tsubo, source point, right underneath. So on this one, when you look at the hand, if you drew a line between the fourth and fifth metacarpal and down, it's closer to there, and you're gonna feel like a little. If you need to laterally flex towards it to feel. Find it on yourself, please. Okay. Now feeling that okay? Yep. So these 3 points. So this will be, we'll do both arms, the yin meridians. So nice and open for lunch. And it's a nice, quiet, calm and fun thing to do for ourselves. So let's get into pairs and do that.